Thank you. So I'm Eric Schockman. I'd like to thank the Faculty Development Committee for the grant and explain in 10 minutes basically what I did with it. Linda said that we named this session Pivot. I would like to rename it Speed Dating. Because because this is sort of a academic speed dating environment. So with that, let me share my screen, and I hope it works. My sabbatical report is put on a PowerPoint, and I want to do a preface. Can everybody see this? Yes? Okay. So I just want to do a preface here, to prelude. The grant was supposedly going to keep me as a visiting scholar at the largest business school in Latin America based in Santiago, Chile. And it was supposed to last all of the spring until COVID hit. And my colleagues in Santiago informed me that there were about 400 respirators in the entire country, and that I better get back to the United States as soon as possible. So that was a precipitous moment in sort of my pivot, Linda, to take me back to the United States. But research continued despite it, and I just wanted to share some of the results I had while I was down there, besides the visiting scholarship. So while I was down there, Professor McConnell and I, who's in the INDS program, presented a paper called Ocean Deoxygenation and Global Governance, Environmental Stewardship and Land-Ocean Divide at the 16th International Conference on Environmental Culture and Economic and Social Sustainability at the Pontificia Catholic University in Santiago at the end of January. And it was my section of the paper. Will took mostly the technical stuff about oceanic changes and oxygen going into the ocean. I was looking more at the apocalypse of what's happening on the political level, since I'm a political scientist, and the changing governance paradigm for rebalancing the relationship between the global north and the global south for the sake of future environmental stewardship on the land-ocean divide. So it was a well-attended conference. I just wanted, Will said I should take a picture so you all know we were there. And this was an international conference of about, I'd say maybe on and off about 1,000 people from all over the world. Remember, pre-COVID. This is Professor McConnell working hard in the field. If he's here online, I just want him to know that we appreciate his hard work on behalf of Woodbury. And he was a pleasure to have some time with down in Santiago. So here I am in my visiting role as a scholar at ESE Business School at the Universidad de Los Andes in Santiago, Chile. My role was to be a visiting scholar by providing lectures to mostly the graduate students in the business school dealing with globalization, US foreign policy, and at that point they were fascinated by the Trump administration's debacle in the world, and issues dealing with sort of US foreign policy generally, and as it relates to Latin America. So they gave me several forums. I was able to talk to graduates and undergraduates in English and in Spanish. So it was great. It was a great experience. Here is their administration building, quite architecturally designed. It's in the foothills of the Andes outside of Santiago. Here is their university library, which is phenomenal. I spent a lot of time just hibernating in the library here. Here are their faculty. This is the faculty, and this is where the faculty live. And here is my serious part of this presentation. So while I was down in Santiago, it was a hotbed of revolutionary activity. The Pinochet government wrote a constitution that basically inscribed neoliberalism for ad nausea within the Chilean experience. And the students, the lower middle class, started literally revolting in the streets. And I had the opportunity to do some field research talking to the people who were in the front lines, who were literally in the barricades, and trying to survey them about their attitudes towards social change and revolution. So along the way, one of our colleagues in the political science department here, Lale Parkekianian, she said, wow, I'm doing research on the Lebanese revolutionary movements, and why don't we team up to do a chapter for a book, which we got accepted to. It's a Palgrave edition that will be coming out in 2020, 21, 22, someplace. And it basically tests some of the hypotheses about revolutionary movements and some of the scholarship. She's done research in Lebanon. We've done obviously stuff. My colleague Raul Langostina is my colleague down in Santiago. So both of us were sort of collaborating on the Chilean side, and she's bringing in the issues from the Lebanese side. So just some pictorial demonstration of the chaos in Santiago. Well, we were there. This was October 2019. And we still had the remnants as we were there afterwards in December, January. And you could see this is the main plaza in Santiago, where mostly students who were just sick of being dispossessed out of the status quo and getting into the universities and high ratio debt, everything, just, set the place on fire. I love this shot because I think it sort of signifies the protest of what was going on. And the mask was not used for COVID at the time, but for tear gas that was prevalent throughout Santiago. And both Dr. McConnell and I were tear gassed at one point. It was such a lovely experience. But this is sort of depictive of the velocity of the fervor coming from the street. Here's a picture of some students doing a bonfire, basically, of throwing things into effigies into a big pit and protesting against the government's policies. The government is moderate conservative. Before that, they had a socialist government or a left-leaning government. And prior to that, under Salvador Allende, they had a real socialist government, which the United States back in the 70s was very helpful to overthrow directly with the CIA's involvement and Henry Kissinger. But that's another story. So we were in the midst of this, and it was really an exciting time as a political scientist to be there and to really sort of pay homage and witness to this. So what also came out of this this period of research was, and I know Nicole had some interest in this, this is another Palgrave chapter of a book I'm writing with 3 colleagues from Santiago. And it's why social change is driven by crisis. And we're using the conceptual sort of framework of exceptionalism to examine not only Chile, but its sort of relationship to the United States and also the rest of Latin America. So we interviewed about, interviews were about 24 highly ranked opinion molders, people in the political, academic, business, civil society, and we talked about the myths and reality of Chile as an exceptional country. And it was, and still is, an exceptional country when you look at the rest of Latin America. However, we'll see after post-COVID, whether in fact that exceptional status, especially following the sort of neoliberal framework, neoliberal economic framework, still holds intact. So that's another chapter coming out of the the time I was down. And I'd like to just thank the Faculty Development Committee for your gracious grant. And I'm not sure if we're doing any questions, Nicole, but I'll stay by for later if we are. So thank you.